All right, I'm super excited about today's video. As you may or may not know, I get a lot of my information, a lot of my video ideas from YouTube or from Facebook questions specifically. Newcomer bass fishermen asking questions. So one of the questions on one of the forum or one of the Facebook groups I'm on was, what rod do I need for jig head minnow? So I was thinking about myself and what I use, and then I got to looking and seeing what other people use. Nobody uses the same stuff. Some people want a 7'6", 7'10". Some people want 6'10", and everything in between there. That's a wide variety. Some like a stiffer rod, some like a more limber rod. Nobody matched up, basically. So then I started looking more into the jig head minnow, and hold on a second, we're gonna let this plane pass. Started looking more into the jig head minnow, and same thing with the heads. Nobody uses the same head. A lot of it, I think, is guys that want to get or keep their sponsorship, so they're recommending their sponsors. But I've always been one that thinks there's more than one way to skin a cat, and figuratively speaking, of course. And today we're gonna mess around with that. I'm gonna try what I already have, the stuff that I've already made, the baits that I've already made, the jig heads that I've already made, and see if we can catch a few. Full disclosure, I am not good with this technique. I'm way behind. Everybody's good at this technique. I am not. So today we're gonna learn something, and that's why I'm excited. So follow along, and hopefully you'll learn something too. So a few things while I'm tidying up here and tying stuff up and whatnot. First, we're on my local lake, the lake I'm always on. Part of the reason I want to do this video here is there is probably only maybe 2 football fields of actual deep water, of what I would consider minnow shaking water. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, it's a holiday weekend. I know there's enough boat spots here. Once the traffic gets up, I'm gonna go shallow and see what we can do there. But the things that you gotta have that have been universal, as far as what everybody says, is clear water. This is not the clearest water we've got around. I'll tell you that right now. It's not dirty water, but it's probably got, right now, 3 feet of visibility, 2 feet of visibility maybe. So not the clearest water we've got in Michigan here, but also not horrible. So I want to see if it works in that water depth, or that water color, sorry. And yeah, it gives me a very narrowed focus if I've only got a football field that I can actually fish like this. So that is good. If this will even work. I don't know. We will see. We will see. All right. To start with, this is a hover rig. That is the weights here, and it goes inside inside the worm and nothing's exposed. That's one way of doing it. I have that mold, I poured those. Another way of doing it is with a regular jig head. The key to this is that from what I've heard, the key to it is where the eye placement is. So I don't even know if this is gonna work, but this is what I'm gonna start with. We're gonna get swamped by these people all day. Here's the bait that I pour, which I think will work. Here's a Lastec Strike King Z2, same size. So I think both of them will work. So that's one way we're gonna do it. So I'm going to rig up the Z2 on a regular net head. This weight is, I want to say 3/16. That is not going to work. The Lastec stuff, if you're new to fishing, do not put it with your regular plastisol baits. They will turn into a science experiment. It's not fun. So keep any Lastec stuff by itself. We're probably not going to be out here very long doing this. I'm going to lose my mind. There's only one boat out there water skiing, right? Or not water skiing, whatever they do. You've seen me rig this like 3 times. I want to make sure this is perfectly straight. Like so. The other thing is you want to make sure you've got enough hook gap that the fish can get it in their mouth. The first time I rigged it, I had no gap between the hook point and the bait, or very little. Because I want these to stay where they are. I don't want to have to change them every 10 seconds. I'm going to super glue them. I don't think that's necessary, but I'm doing it. A little as a dab of super glue is all you need. All right, there's one. Now I'm going to use my bait and I'm going to use a little bit lighter weight because I don't even know where these fish are right now. But I'm going to use a little bit lighter weight on this one. And because there's so many things that could be the it factor in this, and I'm learning as I go here with you guys. So the it factor could be the size of the bait, could be they want a bigger bait or a smaller bait, it could be the weight of the bait, how fast it's getting to them, how natural or unnatural that looks. It could be the color of the bait. So there's a lot of nuance, which is what we're trying to figure out today. So this and this. So we don't have shad up here. This would be more of a shad with the pearl belly. This would be more like a bluegill, I guess, but this represents a bluegill pretty good too. So there's our two hover rigs. The next bait I'm going to tie on and attempt. You can also just use the regular Zoom fluke, which we might end up trying too. They're out here. The other bait we are going to attempt, which outside of shaking a minnow, I really want to learn the shaking a minnow thing, but I also just want to try and catch suspended fish. So the other thing we're going to do is we are going to throw a Nico rig on a small finesse worm. All right, so here's the setups. So that one we're tying on to the KD 713 7'1" 3-power medium spinning rod, medium fast, and this is the heaviest spinning rod I own, mainly because spinning is finesse. So if I need something heavier than this, I don't even have it. So that's on a little bit heavier head, 3/16 ounce head. 15-pound Power Pro in white or yellow or high vis, whatever. And then with this rod, this is a 12-pound fluorocarbon leader, which also might make a difference. With the other minnow, with the lighter head, this is an 8-pound to the same 15-pound Power Pro. This rod is a DX 702 medium light fast, so it's an inch shorter and a power under. So that's ultimately the rod that I want to be using for this. I don't know if it's ideal or not. We're gonna find out hopefully today. Idiots. And the last one we got is the Nico with a KD 712, 15-pound Power Pro, 8-pound Sniper fluorocarbon leader. So those are the three main setups we got. If all goes to pot and we're seeing these fish out here and none of the minnow shaking's working and none of the finesse stuff is working, we're gonna try that, the exact opposite. What is it? KGB Chad Shad, which is like a 6.5 inch glide style bait. I'm just tying that on for giggles. Hopefully we're not using that today. Let's go shake a minnow. Some guys say to land past them, some guys say to land right on their heads. It's hard to determine all this stuff until you catch fish. Almost all of them say keep keep the bait above the fish. So that is something that's common, but for the most part, everybody has their own theory on this, or their own what works. Like everything in fishing, it's confidence what you're doing. And right now I have 0, but that's what we're trying to figure out. And the live scope haters think this is the easiest thing in the world. Just come out here, you know where the fish are, just catch them, super easy. There's a learning curve. What I have noticed with my very limited experience is once they peel off, you've lost them. That's done. If you don't get them that first drop, it's over. And boat control is the biggest thing. Right now, the wind is coming this way. That boat is causing wakes that are pushing me this way. I've got the sun behind me, so there's a glare on the screen, and you have to cast to the fish and be able to see how it reacts. Simple, right? Simple. I don't think these are bass just the way that they're just sitting there. But that's another thing. What's a bass? What's a catfish? What's a carp? What's a crappie? These are the things I want to know. Something I purchased at the beginning of the season because I wanted to get better at this, and I haven't really used, is this scope head. And that is, again, my bait. This is a 1/4 ounce, so it's a little bit heavier, but I think it might keep the bait more stable. I don't know. It's designed for this crap, so let's see how it does, I guess. So now what I'm doing is I'm just running this over the very top of the grass lines, hoping something comes out and nabs it. Giving up on the suspended fish. I don't know if this water's too dirty. I don't know if they don't really do it here. Still trying to figure it out. I know I need to go out to Orchard Lake and do it, where they got some big smallies, and I've already done it with the jerkbait, but I haven't really done it with the Minnow. So we're gonna continue to try and catch one on this thing. I walked you through all the setups, and I still think you can catch a fish this way. On cue. On cue. You can catch a fish this way. That is just a little tyke. Like super little. Not what we're after, but I just wanted to have some confidence in this thing, and catching a fish always gives me confidence, as you can imagine. So that's just reeling it over the grass line. Looked like it was a better fish on the graph. Yeah, that's a much better fish. And it came off. Ho, ho. That was my fault, but that was a good 3-pounder. Whew. So this works. Scoping over the grass. There's a bunch of bait fish around here. Oh, I got bumped again. Gosh, that was a good fish. I mean, outside of showing you on the video, I'm a little disappointed for that reason, but that's a good one too. Yeah, a couple of good ones right here. All right, this one I'll land. Promise. Should have landed the last one. The last one was even bigger than this guy. We hooked him right in the top of the mouth. It's a good 2.5. The last one was even bigger. Super cool. All right, we learned something. That was my goal, was to learn something. We did. That's the bait. This is a Z2, basically a Laztec. I'll tell you exactly what that head is. It's called the scope head. It's called the scope head. I still don't know who makes it. So Google scope head. Google scope head and you'll figure it out. This is a 1/4 ounce with a 2/0 hook in it. That's the difference maker, is that weight, keeping it horizontal in the column, I think. But also doing something completely different. I should try some of these other baits now too. But ultimately I'm just coming right over the top of the grass. Now that I kind of got a feel for what's happening here, I don't even really need the live scope. All I need to do is count down my bait. I haven't seen these fish on the graph. I'm just throwing to the tops of the weeds. That's like 4 fish in 10 minutes. So, count it down to the top of the grass, reel it slow over the top of the grass. as far as the shake part, I'm not really shaking it. I'm tapping my rod with my finger as I'm reeling really slow. I don't know if that matters or not. I don't know. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all there is to it. We learned something. This one's a little better. Not as big as the first one I lost. About as big as that second one that I did catch that was a little bit bigger. About 2 pounds, maybe. 1 3/4 pounds. This is how I lost the first one. You think I'd learn, but no. No, I don't learn. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, found something. Again, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be fishing this anymore. Let's go see if we can do this somewhere else. I have a tournament tomorrow night, and I feel like this might work. So I'm gonna go try a completely different spot in the lake. We obviously found that this works. The last fish I caught, all I did was count down to 5 and slowly start reeling, tapping the rod tip. So we're gonna go to a completely different part of the lake, see if I can replicate that. There we go. It is repeatable, although that's a walleye. All right. Still repeatable. That's a pretty good eater, actually. I think that one's gonna go home with me. Let's see. Yep. Works for walleye too. That's a big fish too. he's caught up in the grass. Which we're just gonna let him kind of swim his way out of there, maybe. Is that a smallie? No, just a big old largie. He tired himself out. We gotta get a weight on that guy. I think I probably shouldn't be sharing this stuff with you guys. That's a toad. That's a hog right there, baby. It's a Hog Snacks hog. Three and 3/4, 373. 3 3/4 pounder. That's why we do it. Fat pig. That's crazy. That fish was right on the bottom. Did not see it at all. He choked right in the roof of the mouth every time. That's with my jig head. A little bit smaller, but I think I can say successfully that I've learned a thing or two about the jig head minnow today. It's been fun, actually. I was excited about it. I've learned something. It is not what I thought, at least not yet. Not yet, but we've definitely learned something. Little fella. Things we've learned. First thing we've learned is they're not always over 40 feet of water. Did that for what, hour and a half. I've been at this 3 hours. Probably the first half of that was over deep water, throwing at stuff. I don't even know if it was bass, but it wasn't working. So went to above the grass and almost immediately caught a little one, and then 4 or 5 other fish right away. Obviously you have to be around fish for this to work, but once you get around them, I think this is a finesse bait that's gonna do it for you. Other things I've learned. I don't know if the still verdict's out on the minnow head. I felt more confident with that scope head staying flat, but I caught fish with that. I've caught fish with my head. I've caught fish with the Strike King Elastec. I caught fish with a Zoom finesse worm, which is salted. I caught fish with my finesse worm, which is unsalted. All of that worked. So what's your confidence, I guess? Live scope. You will not always see the fish. If there's bait fish in the area, I don't know if I saw any of the fish I caught today. If there's bait fish in the area, work your minnow through there and see. I saw a lot of them come up after it. They're just kind of sulking on the bottom, and then they see something that looks like an easy meal, bam. But I don't know that I threw at any actual fish. So holes in the grass. This is on bare bottom. There's nothing here. Not a thing here. Just a little bunch of bluegills right off to the side here. And I caught back-to-back fish right there. What else did I learn? I don't know if the rod matters or not. I don't know if any of it matters, I guess is what I'm still saying. It's what you find confidence in. So go out there, try it over 40 feet, 50 feet, 60 feet, 70 feet, see if there's suspended fish. I know that works well for smallmouth. I've done it on St. Clair, I've done it on Orchard and caught fish. So try that. If that doesn't work, if you're in our area, try above the grass lines, rock humps, anything like that. Try to keep it above the fish. I do think that is a thing, but I was just about 6 inches to 8 inches off the bottom right here, and those fish came right off the bottom and got it. So I was above the fish, obviously, but still real close to the bottom. So don't rule out kind of dragging it across the bottom. I guess that's all I've learned today, and it was quite a bit in a short period of time. If you have any questions or any favorite gear or anything that you want to see me try, let me know in the comments. Outside of that, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We've got about half the tournament season left to go and lots more stuff to learn. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.